Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to this lazy Blazie review. It's hot, it's warm, it's night time, so the lighting isn't that great. Look at my little fancy, shitty, crappy lights. There's not much to them, but it's a nice little display at night time. Yeah, it is coming up summer now, sadly. So there's going to be a lot of little reviews like this. I do have a fan on. I have no idea what that fan is gonna sound like, to be honest. I haven't really had a fan on during videos. I have during live streams, and it's been fine. I will do my best to edit it out. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe, yeah, I'll do my best to edit it out, and maybe it'll be okay. Apologies if the sound quality is shit. So, alright, anyway, so, I went and watched the Venom movie, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Finally got to see that movie because it's not out in, it only just came out in Australia, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because, yeah, this movie was spoiled to crap. It was absolutely spoiled to crap, so I already knew everything going in, especially the big reveal at the end. I already knew because it was all over TikTok and everything, and it's just... like, how in today's world do movies not just come out at the same time? I don't get it, because yeah, people are going to spoil it. Like, has no one learned? You know, anyway, let's not worry about that. Okay, so yeah, Venom 2. I was right. He was very gay. He does have a coming out scene. Very much a coming out scene, and it's great. So, I guess I will kind of go into spoiler territory. Apologies for that. I will kind of go into spoiler territory, because most of my audience is from America anyway, and they would have probably already seen the film, most likely. So I will kind of just talk about everything, all the little scenes, blah blah blah. Whatever I remember. It's been a couple days since I watched it, but I haven't had any time to do this, and yeah, now I'm just going to do it now. And yeah, so let's see, what do I talk about? Well, yeah, it was a good movie. It was a very fun movie. It just goes. The movie just goes. My only problem with the first Venom movie is that it's very slow. It takes a very long time to get to Venom, and that was my only problem with that movie. I was really bored for a good chunk of that movie because nothing was happening. Once it gets started, I was like, okay, I'm in, I'm invested. It just takes a good while to get there. This movie just starts. It just starts, it goes, and yeah, and it just keeps going until it ends. That's what's great about this movie. You'll never be bored because it just goes, and that's great. There are times where the editing can seem a bit quick. Like it is kind of washing to that next scene. I will admit that. It can feel like that. I do feel like they could have like it's a very short film. I think only like 90 minutes or something like that. Like, so like an hour and 20 minutes. That's a pretty short film. No, that would be 80 minutes. Yeah, 60, 70, 80. Yeah. So an hour and 30 minutes or something. No, I think it's like an hour 20, hour 30. I don't know, it feels short. It felt very short. It probably could have done with an extra 5 minutes or so in those specific scenes where it did feel like it was kind of washed or something. But for what it was, very fun, very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Venom is just amazing. He is great in the movie. He acts like kind of like his conscience. It's kind of like, you know, his conscious, yeah, what I can't think of a word right now, I apologize. But like, you know, inside his head, his inner thoughts, that's it. He's like his inner thoughts. And so there'll be like a scene where like he's kind of talking with, where like Eddie is talking with someone, and then he kind of just, and then he will like walk away, and then Venom will just be like, what a dick, talking about the other guy, and it's hilarious. And he does like little things like that. He'll just like say that kind of thing, and it is just really sudden and funny coming from Venom, you know. I also like that, like, in this one, Venom is very much about wanting to become a hero. He wants to be a hero. He's still just like the whole, you know, wants to eat people, which they kind of change into he needs brains, and he enjoys eating brains, and he can kind of get the same result out of chocolate and or chickens, I guess. Probably other animals, but chickens are just one short round. It's in the trailer. But yeah, he specifically says brains. And so I guess that gives him a reason to only eat heads and not the whole body now, I guess. Which is a bit weird. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know, it just seems a bit weird. Weird little change or thing. Like, maybe that's just how it works, but yeah, it feels like they kind of changed something there. But whatever, in the end, it's fine. But yeah, Venom. So, it's also great because those two, like Eddie and Venom, are just a couple in this movie. They're just a couple. even like one of the other guys is just like, those two need couple therapy. And yeah, that's what this whole movie is. It's just kind of like they're not a couple, not like an official couple, but they act like one. They act like they're just like, yeah, in a relationship and just kind of squabbling over the little things or major things, you know. They're always kind of just fighting at each other. And sure, there's a part of it that you want some niceness from it, you know, like you want to see them have like a proper conversation. And for most of the movie, they are arguing. It's not until like the very end, and it's nice. It's a nice little ending. What they do there, because it's basically them kind of getting together. And yeah, I was right. It is they do have a coming out scene. So basically, they have like the big fight, the big breakup moment of the film, where they kind of go their separate ways. Venom actually comes out of Eddie and starts going to other different bodies and such, and so he's like just taking over different bodies for a time and just kind of wandering around, and he ends up at the wave party. He ends up at the wave party. He ends up at like a wave party, which is also kind of like has like this monster kind of weird kind of theme going on. And so when he shows up as, you know, this big monster, everyone loves him. Everyone absolutely loves him, or thinks he's like a cool costume, or like, oh, who made that? It's like, oh, I made it myself. He's just kind of joins in, and it's like, people are taking photos with him, and it's just really funny, great little moment. But in particular, it's the lines that are said here. Particularly being, I'm coming out of the Eddie closet. Yep, that's what he says. I'm coming out of the Eddie closet, aka I'm coming out of the closet. So yeah, it's a funny little scene there. Like a little, it's a funny wording. It's very particular wording. He's saying, he's like, yeah, I'm coming out of Eddie. I'm coming out and being myself. That's what he's saying. You know, that's what he's trying to say. But then it's just like, that's a very interesting wording to say it like that. You know?
Oh, me?
Hello, gorgeous.
Sorry, no, not my type.
And then yeah, so he's just going around the wave, and everyone just loves him, and he feels like he fits in there. He feels so happy, and then he goes up on stage, and he talks about like, you know, like, oh, Eddie was wrong, you know, blah blah blah. I can't be independent. I need to be out there. I need to do this, and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of makes it seem like the crowd is just like, he's like talking about like an ex-boyfriend or something like that. And then he's just like talking about like the injustice to aliens, and that we should all be allowed to live happily and be ourselves on this ball of rock, this rock ball called Earth and all that. And, you know, we should be proud of who we are. We should be allowed to be who we are. And everything. It's very much, very clear a gay speech. like that kind of like LGBT pride kind of thing, or just like of this being like alliance and all that, just being like we should be allowed to be who we are, and it's very clear what the message is there, and I absolutely respect them for doing so. I love that they did so. Absolutely love that they did so. But okay, so besides all that scene, the main villain, Carnage. That's what you're here. That's also why you go to see that movie, is Carnage. And Woody Harrelson, who plays him, like he's a great Cletus. He looks like a Cletus, I guess you could say. I do like him as an actor. He is good, and yeah, he did a good job as Cletus. And Carnage looks great. Like he looks really cool. There's some really cool scenes there with him. Great scene of him going through a prison, which is one of the scenes that I do feel like was like weirdly edited. Like I know that's one of the things people complain about, is that there is no gore. You know, you have Carnage with, like, you know, he makes axes and sharp things out of his tentacles and, you know, tentacle stuff. And he does do that, but, you know, obviously there's no, like, him slicing people in half and such. And I do admit, there did need... There's at least one very obvious kill of him jamming his tongue down someone's throat, which is very hot. They stayed on that scene. They stayed on that scene because they knew people would like that scene. Let's be real, they knew. But I do feel like they should have like the thing with like fast editing and such. You know, he'll kind of just throw enemies around. I feel like he needed to like jam his tentacle into like someone's stomach or something and kind of lift them up the ground, and kind of do that slowly, and then have the guy just go limp. And that would be like, okay, he just killed someone. You know, that's what you kind of needed. You needed just a little bit of that. You can get away with that in PG. Like, I think this movie is still, like, PG or whatever. It's definitely not R-rated. They do drop an F-bomb, and the F-bomb is pretty great. They do end up dropping an F-bomb, and it is pretty great. Like, it was well-deserved, and just, like, and just funny. Funny little moment. But yeah, like, so I wasn't disappointed in Carnage. I wasn't. Like, there was still a lot of him, a lot more than what I thought there would be, from like what other reviews and things I've seen. But no, there's plenty of Venom, plenty of Carnage in there. You know, and then I didn't mind his girlfriend character, Shriek, which I was really confused by. I thought Shriek was just like another symbiote, but no, she's a mutant. She's kind of pretty much like an X-Men, which is kind of intriguing that they went with that direction, because then like is X-Men going to be like in Venom's kind of universe or something like that. I'm kind of intrigued in that. It might not be anything, it might not mean anything at all, but yeah, they went with a mutant thing there, so that's kind of interesting, I guess, in a way. But yeah, the action is good. I loved the final fight scene and everything with Venom and Carnage. It looked great. You could clearly tell who was who. Compared to the first movie with Wyatt, it was a little bit like, you know, he's like a silver grey fighting against like this black sort of glistening body. And it was a little difficult to tell who was who at times. Here, no, it works much better. The fight was really cool. I don't know, the acting's good, everything's good. A lot of good jokes in there. Like, again, Venom was very funny. Good action. I like the ending, because in the ending, Venom does say that he loves Eddie. He does. It's like, he's kind of saying, like, oh, when you love someone, you do blah, 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 blah. Something like I can't remember exactly. But I think it's along those lines. When you love someone, and then Eddie's just like, wait, so you love me? And we kind of don't really say much more after that. But it's good. It's funny. I am, I guess, looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I guess I'm not going to spoil what happens at the ending. I won't do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I am intrigued in Eddie and Venom for sure. So they did a good job. I will give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10 foxes. We got a little bit of gay Venom and Eddie. Not too much. More so Venom coming out. Totally coming out. And it was really funny and everything. The action was good, as I said. Carnage was good. I really liked all that we did. Like I said, there was more Carnage than I thought there would be from what others have said. Now, don't take my word for it in the sense of like, oh yeah, no, there's plenty of Carnage. There always could be more Carnage. So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. Anyway guys, it's hot. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe to our channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon. And this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.